Okay, let's create ourselves an enterprise geodatabase. Now, an enterprise geodatabase is the same kind of geodatabase that you've had using the file geodatabases that we did in the other class. The difference is that the data, instead of being stored on your disk as a file system, they will be stored somewhere in a database. And of course, in the case of this example, the database is going to be on your computer itself. But it doesn't have to be. It could be somewhere completely different. And in fact, we're going to interact with a database that I've created in the cloud. So first thing you need to have done is you have to have some sort of database capable of handling this. A database that allows multiple connections, allows users and multiple users, multiple roles, and to be able to administer that in a secure manner. Okay, you also need to have ArcGIS stored, installed, and we also have to have a file from having installed ArcGIS server. I'll be supplying that file to you. So if you don't already have Postgres installed, and let's please use Postgres 9.6 because it's compatible. I know there's more recent versions available, but they have not been certified for use with ArcGIS. Note that this is the ArcGIS Enterprise Geodatabase, but there can be other vendors who produce databases as well that you can use in an enterprise setting. Okay, so if we have this set up, and let's go ahead and bring open Arc. I'm going to bring up ArcGIS catalog from the desktop version. There's an equivalent in ArcGIS Pro. Some of the functionality is not there yet in Pro, so we're gonna go with this until Pro catches up. Which won't be long now, I can tell you that. Probably the next time we teach this class, it may be an all on Pro. Okay, so from our catalog, let's click on search, and we'll do a search for create enterprise database, geodatabase. And there it is. Okay, and so we're going to need to fill in this stuff here. Our database platform is going to be PostgreSQL. Instance is going to be the IP address of where the Postgres is running. 127.0.0.1 is equivalent of typing in localhost. It's the web address of your machine. I think they call it the loopback address. So basically it just means it's running locally. The database name, if you create one, if you put one in here, it will create one for you. Let's just go ahead and call it, put something with your initial in here, BMR maintenance. And the database administrator will be Postgres. Basically, it has to be anyone that has super user status. If you had created another super user, you could use that. In this case, let's just try to keep as many things simple as possible. Just give it the Postgres username. In reality, you would probably create a separate user for that so that you could blow it all away and not worry about affecting anything else in the database. Interesting. I didn't know that was actually, I didn't know you could do this. Geodatabase administrator, SDE. Now yours may not have this in here already. SDE is sort of a hard-coded thing. It's going to create a user called SDE. It's a special user. He owns everything. He is the super user of the Enterprise Geodatabase. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to for everything in this class, I'm basically going to make the password the same as the username, just to keep things simple. Obviously, that is not good or what is the best practices. So you would want to do something better than that. Authorization file. This is where you have to get the key code file from Enterprise, from creating, installing ArcGIS Server. Let me supply that for you. Somewhere I have told you where a keycodes.txt file is. If I haven't told you, then shoot me an email, say, where is this, Bruce? I'm going to go ahead and just download this and just store it somewhere so that I can get to it. Make sure you know where it is. You're only going to need it when you create a Enterprise geodatabase, and you only need it once. Once the database is created, you don't need it again anymore. All right, so let's see here. Let's go back to our tool and authorization file. C. Yep, key codes. And it should read it. And there we go. So we click OK, and you should get a status bar down here while it's creating this. So what is it doing? It's creating a number of files, a number of tables, creating a database, and inside that database it's putting in some rules, putting in some objects, and we're going to go look at those in a minute. The good thing about this, as opposed to a file geodatabase, is you can actually go in and see what it has created. So that'll be kind of cool. So if you're lucky, you'll get something like this. If you don't, if you get some sort of issue, maybe that your database doesn't exist, or it couldn't create SDE. The most likely thing is this authorization file didn't work. So give me a call or something. We'll see what we can do to get you set up. Okay, well that's that. Let's move on to the next thing.